What is going on, everybody? Hope you lot are well. Today we are just doing some comparison videos of the Switch 1 and Switch 2 versions of SnowRunner and Expeditions MudRunner. So yeah, let's get right into it. First half will be SnowRunner. Second half of the video will be Expeditions MudRunner. So if we just start off with some loading time tests here on the right, Switch 2, on the left, Switch 1. Loading times have been massively improved on both games. Like around 30 seconds there you can see to load into a save for the Switch 2. And I think it's gonna be like double that time on the Switch 1 while this is loading. I just speak about some things about how we did the test. So it's a little bit unfair because obviously Switch 1 was on SD card, and Switch 2 is on internal memory, but even then, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. So it's like loading times are still a bit long for especially for SnowRunner, but obviously massively improved compared to Switch 1. Now, if we just move over to some gameplay, so now you're seeing Switch 1 gameplay of SnowRunner. If we just do a couple of minutes and then we'll move over to Switch 2 footage. As you can see here, looking a bit soft. I've got there's the option to have Fidelity FX. I've got that on. I've got it on for both games in both versions of the game as well. So I think this is first map. Yeah, let's just play a little bit here and then we can compare and contrast. Man, this was a really good game. It obviously took a downgrade graphically on the Switch 1, but to play it portably, it was worth it. I got this on PS4 and the Switch, and I think I might have ended up putting more time in the Switch version. It's unfortunate that Expeditions it felt like a downgrade for everything, graphically and gameplay and everything you do. And their latest game hasn't come to Switch. Maybe that will come to Switch too, who knows. But yeah, if you're considering any of these, SnowRunner is definitely the better game. Still releasing seasons and DLC and everything for it. I'm not sure how much of that content, like all the latest content, is coming to Switch versions of the game. So yeah, officially these haven't had like patches or upgrades for the Switch 2 version. It's just with the increased horsepower of the Switch 2, we're just getting some benefits, namely loading times. And secondly, as soon as we move over to some Switch 2 footage here, you're going to see a big jump in resolution, I would say. It's stuck. Alright, so if we move over to some Switch 2 footage now, so yeah, off the bat, you can already see, obviously this level has a lot of haze. That's how they mask a lot of the graphics in this game. They add a haze effect. But even through the haze effect, as soon as we get a little bit further, straight away, you're going to be able to see things just look sharper, not as muddy. Like you can see it on the truck bed. First of all, and when you get a little bit further here, you can start seeing it in the rock details and everything. Again, it's a muddy game anyway, so you'll just like looking superficially, it's not as big of a jump as like those loading times are. But when you're A/Bing them, and hopefully we'll timestamp the video so you can A/B yourself. it definitely feels like, you know, I don't pixel count here, so I can't tell you how much of a resolution bump it is. I don't think it's going anything to like 1080p or anything, but like, you know, if it were, somebody told me it went from 300p to 600p, again, random numbers, I don't pixel count, I would totally believe you. Still popping and stuff here, again, until these don't get, you know, Switch 2 patches, it's just brute forcing, you know, because they got some of that Fidelity FX architecture built into the game. So obviously I wonder if that is what's pushing up the resolution, or if it was just dynamic res. It'd be interesting to see if they do patch, especially this game, right? Because like I said, it's still getting seasonal content. It'd be nice if they did, or are they just gonna move on to the next game? Oh, we're stuck. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of these videos coming out over the next couple of weeks. Loads of Switch 2 coverage on the channel, and doing first look of some of the newer games. Do not drive off that ledge. So yeah, if you're interested in longer videos for first looks, will be over up on Twitch. Short videos will go up on YouTube. Follow and subscribe if you are interested. If you want to see our original first look of the Switch versions of these games, that's up on the channel. All right, let's jump over to some Expeditions MudRunner. All right, if we start off with some, again, loading times, Switch 2 on the right, Switch 1 on the left. Again, Switch 1, the game was installed on the SD card, which slows it down a little bit, obviously, rather than internal memory. The loading times wasn't as long in this game compared to SnowRunner, but there was less going on, right? This game just felt graphically like a downgrade, so that's why you see it is way quicker. But again, it's almost like double, you know, double the loading time in Switch 1. Kind of similar to SnowRunner, right? Half the it takes twice as long on Switch, and you know, half that time on Switch 2. There is like rainforest, like foresty levels in this game also, but I thought I'll pick this level because, well, air quotes, this game brings new, right? You know, we didn't have this terrain type in SnowRunner. But yeah, that hut we just passed there, that's why I was doing a lot of A/B testing on. You can see a massive hut, I mean, what do we call it? A hut, whatever, that building on the left. You see a massive resolution bump compared to the Switch 1 and Switch 2 versions. Again, it's even, I thought it was hard to tell in the first game, it's harder to tell in this game because everything looks muddy in this game. Like some of it purposely so, because I want to say even, you know, the current gen versions, it's just this game has that kind of look, right? I'm gonna edit this bit out. Everybody close your eyes. If you don't want to know how I got down there, we just say it was magic. Tada. Now, when I was capturing this footage originally, I was like, I was stressing so much because we're gonna have a video going up on the channel about how you do the system transfer and save transfer, and there was so much confusion over it over the first couple of days of how it works. Does it keep your saves on your Switch 1? So I had to record all this footage that we're gonna do comparisons of before I did the system transfer. I wasn't sure after the fact if it's gonna wipe my saves on when I do the system transfer on my Switch 1. So I had to go from a lot of memory about, oh, what section did I record, what did I do. you have to do that system transfer, save transfer on the first boot when you get your Switch 2. Luckily, this wasn't one of the games. If you're curious, it keeps your saves on Switch 1 and Switch 2. So far, it was like Pokemon games, Metroid, Animal Crossing, things like that. I got stuck a lot here. I'm curious, like, how many people picked up this game off the back of SnowRunner and how much they enjoyed it. I think the Switch version sold a lot as well, right? SnowRunner. I guess the saving grace for this game is if you are looking for this type of game, there's nothing else, right? If you play SnowRunner for years, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna buy the next one because you want more of that content. Even though unfortunately it's like a downgrade with regards to everything, right? Alright, so if we move over to some Switch 2 footage of expeditions, we can do some comparisons. Straight away you can see definitely has a resolution bump. Look at, you can see the truck bed and everything. Again, though, if you look at the textures on the trees and everything, it's hard to tell, but resolution wise, so yeah, keep an eye on that building on the left here. You go back to the Switch 1 footage, it looks way lower res. Look at it. It looks like it has fuzzy haze all over it. But again, I would say, you know, because the game is that type of muddy textures, all rocks, and it's harder to tell, but yeah, definitely takes a resolution bump. Until these games don't get patched and they don't have, like, you know, asset bumps, game's not gonna blow you away, right? Like, everybody's doing their backward compatibility tests and people are just talking about the loading times of this game. And I wish, like, generally shocked though, why aren't people talking about the resolution bumps? But again, I think it's probably just hard to tell unless, you know, you're A/Bing it. I did spend a little bit of time off stream, like, checking, definitely. Why did I keep this footage in here? No, we was meant to do more magic. Ooh, how did I get down there? Right, hold. What's surprising how they did get the loading times way lower in this game, though. Yeah, so there you have it. As you can see for yourself, loading times improved on both games. Resolution seems higher. I can't give you numbers, say how much higher, but it definitely improvement. Looks sharper. You know, I'm not saying it's like native res or anything, but you know, as the Switch 1 versions were so low res to start with, it definitely helps. So yeah, definitely SnowRunner especially is a way more enjoyable experience now, especially with those loading times. You know, there's a whole other conversation to be had if you're playing this portably and like the Switch 2 screen is very, like, you know, blurry, has a lot of ghosting, so how much of that improvement are you gonna see? I mean, I guess this is a slower game anyway, so you won't notice it as much, but yeah, some nice improvements for these set of games anyway. That's like generally across the board for everything we're gonna do. Shouldn't do spoilers, you know, all those, keep an eye out for all those other backward compatibility videos we've got coming out. Generally see loading time improvements for everything. You have surprise 60 FPS frame rates in some games, but you know, until we don't get like proper patches, you're not going to see, like, you know, Breath of the Wild and everything style improvements. There's 1 or 2 games that are bugging out. I'll show those in an upcoming video. But yeah, there you have it. Once again, don't forget to follow, subscribe, depending on the platform you're watching. Turn those notification bells on so you do know when new videos drop. Leave a comment. Let me know. Did you buy these originally on Switch 1? Have you got Switch 2? You looking forward to play these on Switch 2? I would love to hear your thoughts. Much love. Peace.